Welcome to our second series of videos. This time we're going to start looking at your basic punches. During this whole series of videos, we're going to work on straight punches, hook punches, cross punches, overhand hooks, and uppercuts. How you train them by yourself, how you train them on pads, how you also train them with a partner. When we come to more advanced boxing drills, we'll do that again over a different series of videos. These are introductory videos where we're just looking at the basic concept of these are what your punches are. First thing that we need to look at before we look at anything else to do with punches is, again, the first common mistakes that people make. Holding a loose bunch of bananas is not really much good to you. When you hit, you're likely to crush your hand. If you don't make the fist correctly, what you'll also not be able to do is support your own power. First thing is, with your hand open, take the fingers and roll them in tight. From here, then take the thumb underneath. Make sure that the webbing on the side of your thumb is catching the first finger, and then also pulling tightly with your little finger. The reason we do this is that it pulls the hand onto the forearm and makes the fist much more secure. As part of making the fist, we need to make sure our alignment is correct. We want to make sure that we don't have a ramp. So if we pull the fist upwards here, and you have a ramp going upwards, if you impacted, you're most likely going to impact with your bottom knuckles. If you do that, obviously, then the wrist is going to buckle backwards as you impact. If the fist dips downwards this way as you impact, you're likely to have the wrist buckle this way. Looking from this view, you can see that the knuckles are out of alignment with the rest of the body. So here, if you impacted, your wrist is likely to buckle this way. The knuckles here should be running right the way through the center of the forearm up to your shoulder. The other important part is to make sure when you pull with your fingers, what these do is activate the muscles in the forearm. So as you can see here, as I pull with the thumb and pull with the little fingers, it activates the muscles in the forearm and secures the fist onto your arm. So when you impact, your wrist isn't going to buckle. A common mistake when punching is to allow the elbow to come out to the side. As you impact, the elbow will collapse to the side. You'll not be able to support the power of your own punch. The moment the arm's out, so the armpit's open, the arm is free floating and it's not supported. So the point of the elbow should be facing towards the floor at all times on a straight punch. So when the punch leaves, it goes here, not here. Punching is not done by your arm alone. The idea of a punch is that all of your power is going to start from your feet. Again, we will look at this more in detail when we start looking at the power sourcing videos. Any trained fighter, no matter what style, will always talk about footwork. In relation to the straight punch, we're going to look at the specific footwork that we need, so the angles of the feet and how they affect the rest of the alignment of the body. So looking at center line theory, first of all, the first center line that we're going to look at is our combat center line. This is basically the line through the center of my nose, the line that both me and the opponent are actually sharing when we fight. So when we throw the jab, the first thing I want to do is step onto the center line. We're starting with the feet shoulder width apart. The back foot is going to push into the ground and direct our energy in a forwards direction. My front foot is going to step onto that center line. From here, I'm going to pivot on the ball of the back foot and make a 90-degree angle through the feet here towards the opponent, and then come back to my start position. Release the punch, punch towards the opponent, and back. Step, punch, and back. The guard is important. Looking towards the opponent, chin tucked in, guard up, punch, and back. We don't allow the arm to come out. The basic code for this is when the toes of the front foot touch the floor, we release the punch. When the heel touches the floor is when we stop the punch. Looking at the backhand straight punch, which sometimes referred to as the reverse punch, we're now going to look at the footwork in relation to that. So again, center line theory. We're standing on the center line, guard up. We're looking at how we step in able to power the hand. The important part is to make sure that the back foot now moves onto the center line. Stepping off the center line with the front foot, stepping onto the center line with the back foot, making sure you're on the ball of the foot, facing towards the opponent as you hit, and back. Step, hit, and back. Step, hit, and back. The upper body movement, step with the front leg across, back foot comes onto the center line, hit and back. Step, hit and back. Moving on to using these techniques in application, we want to look at the major striking points on the body and also making sure that we remain covered when we deliver the blows into the opponent. So we're making sure that we're striking the bridge of the nose, striking onto the chin, or striking to the solar plexus as our main points for the punch. We step onto the center line and hit on the center line on the bridge of the nose, hit on the center line to the chin, or hit on the center line into the solar plexus. Also making sure that when we practice the strikes, we don't pull them short. If you practice to just touch, you'll mechanically train your body to understand the distance of just touch. So we practice the same thing off the backhand. 1, 2, 3. This also applies whether we're working southpaw. So if I change to fighting in the right guard, it's exactly the same idea. So from here, we'll step onto the center line, hit to the bridge of the nose, hit to the chin, hit to the body. Whether we're being offensive or defensive with these techniques, it's important to make sure that we use our center line or step off the center line when delivering the blows. If I don't keep my center line covered as I throw the technique, I leave a gap open for Andrew to attack. This is especially evident as I throw the punch if I raise the point of the elbow up. So if my arm comes out this way, we can see the gap that Andrew will attack. So as I start to move from here, I've just left a gap that he can get through. I want to make sure that as I throw the technique, the point of the elbow stays down and I wedge and hit in. The same on the other side, I'm going to wedge and hit in, not allowing him to hit. On the backhand, this is also important to make sure that I shift the body. So I don't move straight towards him, otherwise I'm likely to get hit with his front hand. So if I come in with the reverse punch first, or the backhand punch, whether I'm hitting to the head or to the body, if I step on line, I'm going to get hit. Step to the side, bring the back foot onto the center line, so his punch will fly past my head as I hit. Same thing if I'm hitting southpaw. As I step at the diagonal and he throws his punch, he's missed me, which allows me to put my punch in. Moving on to using these techniques in a defensive fashion, we make sure that we attack the opponent as they attack us. We don't back away. We'll take a very common attack, which is a hook punch. He can either hit off the front or the backhand, it doesn't really matter. Our intention when we see him move is to move straight onto his center line and deliver our jab. Okay, and then off your front hand, same thing. Okay, we can do the same thing off the backhand as he hooks. Okay, and we're training the body to move forwards and not be threatened by it. After practicing our techniques solo, after practicing them on a partner for our distance, what we want to do is start building our speed and our power. So to do that, we'll start using them on the pads. Start very gently and then move your power up. So start, just hit the pad, step in, get your distance and your timing. Know that the power isn't coming from throwing the shoulder. So we're not raising the arm up and hitting, and we're not relying on our strength. We're relying on the technique. So the power should be coming from the back foot and spiral through the body. So we push from the back foot, it comes up through the body and out through the hand. And on the backhand, exactly the same thing, making sure we're not standing on the spot and just throwing the arm, ensuring that we move the feet correctly and the power comes from your back foot up into your hand. Very basic pad drills. We're just going to work 1, 2, 1, 2 off the hand. So the partner can put the pads down, he'll move them up and put them down after we hit. So we're working our time. Note that if we drop the hands at any point between, which I'll do on purpose, Andrew can remind me where my guard's gone. After working on our reaction times on the hand pads, we move onto an air shield on the body where we can now put a bit more power in. And for the person holding the pad, they get a bit more of an indication of what our punches are like. We can start off by working on the jab. We'll start off just by standing on the spot and just throwing the arm. Then what we'll do is add the step in. So we're going to step into the punch as we throw it. Note that we're not pushing, we're hitting. Same thing off the backhand. We can stand on the spot and just throw the arm. Or we can use the body powering up from the back leg. Then we can combine the 2 punches together. Hit the partner as he comes towards you. Don't hit 1, 2 as he moves away. Try and get a good solid blow off your front hand. Hit him as he comes back. That's the end of our straight punch videos. The next series, we're going to start looking at hook punches. I'm so glad I can edit you out.